Good evening viewers, this is Jubilee Saikia and you're watching My News Eddy. Just months ahead of the Lok Sabha elections, Supreme Court today scrapped electoral bond scheme that allowed anonymous funding to political parties. Here we are bringing you the full details. India's top court strikes down poll bounds. Supreme Court electoral bonds unconstitutional. Top court orders electoral bonds to be stopped immediately. Electoral bond scheme was launched in 2018. Scheme creates complete information blockage. Supreme Court today delivered an unanimous verdict on a bench challenging that illegal validity of the central government's electoral bond scheme, which allows for anonymous funding to political parties. Today, during the proceedings on petitions challenging the electoral bond scheme and its constitutional validity, stated that electoral bond scheme has been struck down as unconstitutional. However, a five-judge Chief Justice of India D.Y. Chandrachud, Justice Sanjeev Khanna, B.R. Gawai, J.V. Pariwala and Manoj Mishra heard the matter and reserved the verdict on November 2nd last year. It also stated that political parties are relevant units in electoral process and information about funding of political parties is essential for electoral choices. However, it further added that the right to information is just not justified for the purpose of black money. During the hearing, the bench posed numerous massive questions to the government concerning a scheme highlighting its selective and questioning its potential kickbacks for political parties. The bench noted the possibility of the ruling party knowing the identity of donors, a privilege not extended to opposition parties. However, questions were also raised about the removal of a condition that restricts companies from donating more than 7.5% of their net profits to political parties. At the conclusion of the hearing, the bench instructed the EC of India to present the details of the contributions received by all political parties throughout the electoral bonds until September 30 in a sealed envelope to the court. Yes viewers, just months ahead of the Lok Sabha election, Supreme Court today scrapped electoral bond scheme that allowed anonymous funding to political parties. Supreme Court stated that political parties are relevant units in the electoral process and information about funding of political parties is essential for electoral choices. The court further added that the right to information is not justified for the purpose of black money. However, it further stated that corporate contribution throughout the electoral bond must be disclosed, as the donations by companies are purely or procure purposes. Here is what Prashant Bhushan have said after Supreme Court's electoral bonds verdict.
The Supreme Court has struck down the electoral bond scheme, comprehensively struck it down, and all the provisions that were made to bring it into effect in the Income Tax Act, in the Companies Act, etc., everything has been struck down. They have held that this violates the fundamental right to information of citizens to know about who is contributing this much money to political parties, etc. They have also struck down the amendment made which allowed unlimited political contribution being made by companies to political parties. So, not only the electoral bond scheme, but also the amendment which removed the restrictions on political contributions by companies, which were that you cannot contribute more than 7.5% of your annual profit by way of political contributions. That has also been struck down as violating the level playing field in a democracy. So the petitions filed by us have been comprehensively allowed by the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has struck.
Now, for further updates, keep watching My News NE. Thank you.